This episode of Witchpolice Radio is brought to you by our friends at the Park Theatre, who have a number of great shows coming up. For more information, visit myparktheatre.com. This week's episode of Witchpolice Radio is brought to you by Fourth Quarter Records. It's a Winnipeg-based label and recording studio home to Threepeat, as well as Eggs Solo Projects and Charlie Feta. You can find their merchandise, including the awesome new Threepeat hoodies, online at fourthquarterrecords.com. And if you haven't seen these things, you should definitely check them out. I mean, a lot of local artists are wearing them right now, and it's very cool to see the support from across genres. As soon as those Threepeat hoodies came out, I've been seeing all kinds of people posting on social media, and it's, people in rock bands, electronic music, soul music, whatever. They're all sort of sporting the Threepeat gear. So there's definitely a lot of love and support for Threepeat within the local music community at large, and it's very cool to see.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
Welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm in the food court again. Seems to be happening all the time. And for this one, it's kind of funny because I've been doing the show for almost 6 years now, and I'm at the point where usually I have guests booked kind of months and months in advance. And the guest this week is someone who kind of just randomly asked me, I guess, online if he could be on the show. And then, you wanted to get on right away. You're like, wait, can you do this tomorrow? And so we managed to make it fit in, which is cool. But I think that because I was new to your music, my best way to introduce you might be for you to introduce yourself and just give a bit of info about, what your background is musically and where you're coming from.
Well, my name's Thatcher, Robinson, to start off things. I'm kind of I grew up doing Brooklyn hip-hop from the ages kind of 14 to 18.
Okay.
And then when I was 19, I realized I also played in lots of bands and stuff, so I was like, okay, well, what if I could take both those aspects? So I played punk bands, and I played hip-hop, so I was like, I'm going to take both of those and almost start to make my own genre.
Okay.
And then at the same time of me doing that, I got into a lot of other artists. So there's artists from South Florida, if you've ever heard of a South Florida wave, where they're bringing back punk rock in a way.
Okay.
So as the South Florida waves come in, and I'm like, okay, so this is almost acceptable for people to step out the box. Because I remember 10 years ago, if someone slightly tried to alter it, if someone tried to use, say, a Beatles sample or something, instantly would have been like a joke. It would have been targeted as a joke.
Right, and now it's more okay to sort of go outside the, Well, it's funny you mentioned the punk rock thing, because I think that in Winnipeg in general, a lot of people that I've talked to on the show, whether it's a rapper or a country artist or a blues singer or whatever, a lot of them come from punk bands, just because Winnipeg is such a strong punk scene. And I think it's kind of almost a proving ground for a lot of people to just, you go through, the different levels of becoming a musician, and that's almost everyone has a punk band somewhere in the background, which is, I think it's because of the, you might disagree, I'm not sure, but because of the ease of doing it, I was in punk bands too, right? It's just, a few chords, pick up a couple friends with a drum set, you're good, you got a band. You can just go out and do it, right?
And the culture in Manitoba is crazy for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Growing up in high school, it was almost like everyone was going to punk shows.
Yeah.
Underground punk shows. Most of the time, people wouldn't even know the bands and stuff, they'd just be going to the show.
Because there's a show, And you probably know 8 people in the bands anyway, because everyone's in a band. And that's cool. So I think maybe just to kind of start off talking about what you do, I feel like at this point in my life, I'm in my mid-30s, and listening to your stuff, I thought a lot of it's over my head, just in terms of the style. I like listening to a lot of hip-hop. I have a pretty big collection of tapes, mostly from the 90s, and I was, very interested in the local rap scene around 2001, 2002 kind of era, when I first started going to those shows, and I still like the genre generally, but I feel like the way it's gone in recent years is something that I just don't get. And so I'm hoping you can explain to me what is the sound you're doing and where that comes from. But also, I was thinking about this on the way here. What is it that I liked about rap that I'm not hearing, and maybe what younger people are doing now? And I think it's kind of an aggressive type of rhyming versus what now appears to me, and I might be because I'm not educated on the genre, but appears to be way more laid back, way more kind of quieter, calmer, and so I don't know.
I totally feel it kind of started off with, I would like to think Kanye West started a revolution in a way when he was working with Mos Def and stuff, right? Because Mos Def is a heavy group from that early hip hop
Right.
stuff. But I think he was taking that and doing, you've heard 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah.
So he was taking almost a punk take on that. So that started the evolution. So at first it might not be something recognizable. We don't know what the end subject is going to be. But it started with artists like Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, Kanye West. It's going to be developed almost that extra wave now, right? We still do have the aggressive hip hop and everything.
I mean, even in Winnipeg, there are artists who are still doing that style for sure.
But I feel it's almost like that went to the background. Only the artists that are almost getting the limelight, or any artists that are. But in contradiction, there's, if you've ever heard of like artists like 6ix9ine that are coming out with that aggressive Brooklyn style.
Right.
It's almost two ways that it's branched, right? We're going to experience that.
Well, and I mean, obviously, I understand that the genre is kind of always moving and always growing, especially because it's so big now, right? There's going in so many different influences coming in so many different directions and stuff. But I can't help but feel left out as someone who grew up on that stuff to what's now. And I mean, I think it's kind of a natural thing that happens with any genre of music, is that especially when it's something like hip-hop, which is geared towards the youth. I mean, it's a young person's genre, right? So I think it's just naturally you're going to kind of not be cool anymore with what's cool, right? But so yeah, I just find myself kind of baffled by it a lot of the time, and I can appreciate the the technical ability with making beats still and stuff. Obviously, that still hasn't changed, right? I mean, and people and lyrics and stuff, people are still coming with interesting and thoughtful lyrics and everything. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something about the sound of it. It escapes me, and I always kind of feel like maybe I'm missing out a bit because I'm not getting it. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I kind of understand where you're coming from, because lots of artists that are getting the limelight are these artists like Lil Xan and Russ and stuff, who are like, I don't know, I feel like they're taking hip-hop and they're almost slaughtering it in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, there are artists that still carry it. It's just I feel like they want to take it into a new level, right? Like when Kurt Cobain first came around, everyone was kind of questionable about that guy, right? Because he made, I believe, did he take punk and turn it into grunge, or did he take rock and turn it into...
Well, he was one of the many people who did. But yeah, when they came out, it was like everyone was listening to shitty hair metal and cock rock and stuff, and then this was like noise rock mixed with punk, which became what... Yeah, so it definitely was like aggressive and discordant and stuff when that wasn't what people were into. People were into the big hooks and big hair and stuff, right? And it was this like really discordant thing. And I kind of get that that's probably the similar thing, right? It's not maybe appealing to the ears of the people who are of the older generation, because it's younger people kind of doing their own thing, right?
Yeah, it's very underground and very raw.
Yeah.
For a while, we weren't going to experience that overlay of like how Dave Grohl took it and almost made it mainstream, right? Like
with Foo Fighters and stuff after the fact. Yeah.
There are some artists who are making it mainstream, but like even to think like it's all mostly underground nowadays. Like the people that are selling in everything, if we accounted streams and everything from these other artists that are putting their music out free, like I wonder what that would really come to.
I don't know. Yeah, well, it almost does seem like a punk rock kind of way of doing it. Just like, you open up a SoundCloud, post a bunch of stuff, it's free, it's out there, which is very DIY and very much that attitude, right? The punk attitude of just like, here's my shit, go listen to it. And so I recognize that aspect of it. I like that aspect of it. It's just that sonically, it's past me, I think. Yeah.
Well, have you ever heard artists like, there are kind of some refined versions of it, like have you ever looked into Extension before at all?
I don't think so, no. I've heard the name, but...
Oh, okay. He kind of, he started off doing that Brooklyn really aggressive, but then took it almost into, like, we're experiencing right now that breakthrough of auto-tune being actually, like, singing capabilities.
Right.
In hip-hop, it was like, for a while, I feel like it was just heavily influenced by auto-tune and everything, and now we have actual people
who can sing and rap.
It's gonna be like a weird little bit, but I think, I don't know, the experiments will kind of end soon with everyone, and they'll kind of break off into, like, everyone in hip-hop, even the major heads are saying that they want to break hip-hop into subgenres.
Okay.
So there's gonna be like, there's this thing called cloud, and I think that's what you're referencing to with the really like happy vibes, the really vibes. And then there's like punk rap, like, which is what I do, which you sample drums, guitar, and distort that, sometimes even using your voice through filters.
For sure.
So like almost what Kanye West did in 808s and Heartbreaks.
Right.
He manipulated his voice to...
lots of auto-tune and things like that going on.
It's an instrument.
For sure, cool. Do you think that there's a further style, I mean, is punk rap what you call it? Is that how you sort of refer to it?
Yeah, that's what I would.
Do you think that there is... I mean, with a lot of types of music, Winnipeg kind of has, and Manitoba, I guess, in general, has its own distinct kind of play on things. Like, I mean, you can hear a country artist from Winnipeg, and there's something about it that kind of strikes you as a Winnipeg thing. Even rappers like, I mean, 3 Peat, for example, they sound very West End to me. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like it's lyrics for sure, one thing, but just they sound Winnipeg. And I mean, there's punk bands and they sound like from Winnipeg. Do you think that there is a local element to what you do that kind of pegs you as being from Winnipeg, or is it now blown up so internationally that everyone kind of is within the larger picture, if that makes sense?
Well, like, it's in a way, I'd like to say it's Winnipeg influence, but I feel like the Winnipeg influence that I come from, because I'm from a group called Glomerate, and I'm like the creator, the organizer of the group. I wouldn't call myself a leader just yet because we have a couple of people, but we want to almost overlay and show that Manitoba has more to offer than not saying Winnipeg's most wasn't super good.
Well, they were super popular too.
They were really
huge,
good.
Yeah.
But when they think of Manitoba, they instantly think of Comeback Kid.
Yeah,
or
for sure. Or Propaganda.
Yeah, or they're good referred to Winnipeg's most. I want to almost give people that eye and say that there are more to Winnipeg. Okay. I do feel like in my early ages when I was doing Brooklyn type hip hop, like New York type hip hop, which I feel like Manitoba is also really influenced from.
Definitely, yeah.
Because like Toronto, in a way, it went the opposite way. They're influenced from the Caribbean.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a lot of Caribbean people there, right? So I mean, you got the dancehall vibes and stuff coming in for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like it kind of seems like it offsprings from Cardinal Official into like some, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because he always had dancehall stuff going on, and then straight up reggae songs too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like almost like Drake stuff, and then we developed into that New York style. But again, I want to show that we can do more than that.
Okay.
Let it go, she's cold as the snow. Shit, I was taking trip to a place nobody knows. Sit here and know, said I just sit here and know. Trap in my home, nowhere to go. Wanna be social, but I'm so low. I said I'm so alone, trapped in my home. I'm being anxious, stuck to my phone. Don't let me know, said she don't let me go. Don't even know, I ain't seen this shit before. Just when things start to get bored, let it go, she's cold as snowflake. I was taking trips to a place nobody know, to a place nobody know, to a place you couldn't go. Till she started to show, cause I ain't seen this shit before. Living in a lucid dream, hypnotized satisfaction. Everyone work against, looking for some variations. She ain't never judging when my mind got ugly. Trapped in this dream of when I wasn't learning. Overcoming all these things, overcome the stress of pain. Holding on to all these things, I'm a puppet on the string. Let me know, she don't let me go. Like I don't even know, I ain't seen this shit before. Let it go, she's cold as the snow. Shit, I was taking shit to a place nobody know. Let it go, she's cold as the snow. Shit, I was taking trips to a place nobody know. To a place nobody know, to a place you couldn't go. So she started to show it, cause I ain't seen this shit before.
Do you think that there like a scene for what you're doing? I mean, are there other people that you work with or that you've seen locally that you kind of feel kinship with? You feel like, okay, whatever this person's doing, I can connect with it in terms of what I do? Like, is that...
I work with, I've met a few people over the years because, like, what happened, I don't know, I wanted to create a music group like 5 years ago, but, like, it was kind of just for fun sort of thing, and then over those 5 years, like, there were people that fell out and, like, weren't really interested in it, right? Because if you're gonna...
Well, that always happens with any kind of music, right? People just, some people have priorities, work, families, whatever, then,
Which is also the thing, though, because if you're willing to put 300% into it, right? it's going to end up paying off in the end. But do you really want to bring with people that are putting 80% in?
Sure, yeah, because they're going to drag you down, right?
Yeah, so now after all these years, I know who my people are that are going to put 300% into me.
Okay, cool.
And I believe no one has made it to the top by themselves, right? Like,
no, that's true. You need people who kind of give you a boost each step of the way, right? Yeah.
So like, even though we kind of like did our own things for a while, we all have built over time and everything.
Okay.
So it's like that'll start to shake the scene a little bit and a little. Just by show wise and stuff like.
Do you so as far as shows go, I mean, with the punk rap kind of attitude, are you kind of hoping to play more shows with punk bands and stuff on the same bill, or
because
that's
also what I wanted to explain.
Yeah,
like almost a Coachella vibe, because I don't know, music nowadays, like it's not just people that are into like punk rock or people that are into rock.
No, it's expanded quite a bit more. Yeah, for sure.
You could be into rap, and then you could like listen to Lady Gaga later that day.
Sure, sure. Yeah, you could.
You know what I mean? Like per se. So yeah, I definitely like to do shows.
Okay. Is the punk? I mean, I know you mentioned earlier sampling guitars, sampling drums, effects, and things like that. Is the punk element of the punk rap? Is that attitude as well in terms of just DIY everything and that kind of thing, or is it?
That also is the thing. Even before, when I was talking to a contact in mine, he referred me to Sean Dealey, if you know who that is.
The name's familiar too, for sure.
Yeah, he was managing Counting Crows. He had a studio in the city. And I was thinking about it. I've created my own studio and everything because I like the sound. Like it's not gonna. I don't know. In a way, I wanted a studio, but I didn't want that. The full. Like I don't want the full sound. Like I still like where my sound comes from.
Okay.
It's really good equipment and everything, but that polished sound is.
You want the raw sound, don't you?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because there's even artists like if you've heard that guy Club. What's his name? He made that song Club Going Up on a Tuesday.
I probably haven't heard it.
Okay, well,
I have to do some research after this, I think.
Just like most of these guys, they just take a sleeping bag and like travel around and they'll put it in. Not saying I do that, you know what I mean? I still have the sound equipment and everything. But they'll just take a sleeping bag and record from that.
Okay, just like get in the sleeping bag and...
That's all that's really needed. Well, against the wall. You pin it against the wall and then it catches all the sound.
Makes sense. Instead of using egg cartons or whatever back in the day,
I would never really do it, but I've seen it in music videos and everything. These really popular Billboard artists are just using it. It's like, it carries...
Well, I guess like just stuff you have in your pocket is way better sound quality than just stuff, good equipment like 30 years ago anyway, right? I mean, people have phones and they can record shit and it sounds amazing, or like a little laptop and it's incredible,
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too with all these soundboards and everything. Like my sound guy, he doesn't you can just use Pro Tools. You see all these guys coming to studios nowadays, so just put their laptop.
Yeah, for sure, which is weird, but I mean it works. Obviously, there's enough of a market for it for sure. Do you so you haven't played a lot of shows yet, right?
No, I've only played a few under punk band, and then I've only done a couple months. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, what are you kind of hoping to do with this project now? As your solo project as a rapper, where are you trying to take that? Like,
I would want to eventually, because I want to completely be independent. I realize that grinding, I've kind of had a bit of offers in the dark, but they're not numbers that I've been looking for. Like, if it's a serious number, then it'd be like something contemplated, but it would have to be on my grounds too, right?
Sure.
I don't want a label coming to me and slaughtering my music, like almost doing what they did to Little Peep, where they made him like release music that he never ever wanted to do. Or like even a couple songs, it's like it's selling out to me. It's like it's art. You shouldn't be toning down your art, but I don't know. I eventually want to put together a North American tour very soon. By the end of the summer, I already have contacts in like west side of Canada,
like BC and stuff.
Yeah, so I pretty much just have to contact lots of people in Toronto, promoters, etc.
Cool.
Just to get me to book throughout Toronto.
Yeah. Well, I guess a question I have about that then is, I mean, the sheer quantity of people, like we were just saying, it's easy to record stuff now, and you can just do it in your bedroom or with a sleeping bag or whatever, right? Yeah. How hard is it to? And obviously you're still doing this because you haven't been doing it for that long. But how hard is it to get your name out there when there's thousands, hundreds of thousands other people doing the same thing in terms of being a DIY rapper and doing, producing their own music? And you just go to SoundCloud, for example, and the number of people doing it's insane, right? So how do you find a way to get yourself out of that pack of just everyone's doing this. Like,
Yeah, I feel.
there's got to be some kind of technique to sort of bump yourself above, right?
Yeah, what I think we're experiencing right now is, and I've experienced it before too, and I've played in punk bands and everything.
Yeah.
There's lots of people that do it just for. They're like, okay, well, these rappers have these cars, these rappers have these, you know what I mean, this and that.
Right.
They're not doing it because they love music. Like, and in the end, lots of, like, we're going to experience a time a year from now or so where lots of these people are going to die off and they're going to be like, okay, well, you know what I mean? I haven't got the Lambo yet. I haven't got the...
Sure. Well, that's the same thing with podcasting too, right? I mean, there are people who start shows and they're great, and they don't get famous from it, and they quit after 4 episodes. And meanwhile, people who are doing it every week and on shitty recorders like this and stuff, they keep doing it because they're passionate about it. Obviously,
Exactly.
you have to,
And like I was saying, if you have the passion, it'll eventually come. You just have to keep on grinding toward it.
So is that just the goal? Just keep on grinding? Like,
well, obviously, there's steps in between. What I like to say is I'd like to almost, what's the word for it? Invest in yourself is my best tip of advice, because for a long, like I said, I've been making music for maybe like since I was a child.
Yeah.
Seriously, since I was 15, but until I started to invest in myself, I started to put, you know what I mean, like go around and like just meet contacts or like do music videos, which, like, for example, a friend hooked me up with a really good price, but even like music video wise, coming into it, I didn't expect it to be like that, because who currently does all my films is like Vince Krochak, if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah, actually, I was in a band in 2008, I want to say, and he filmed one of our shows. So I don't know him well, but I remember him from that. Yeah,
so even
way back. Yeah,
I met him and stuff, and then he kind of assisted me a little bit into like what to do, how to set up, like, because that's the thing too. It's like you almost have to you have to work on yourself and work on your music before you put it forward. Because if lots of these DIY artists too, like me and my buddies were just drinking one day, making jokes. We were going through the random people, and we were like there's a song called, I think it's called Two Bitches, and it's just this guy, like, it has a pretty killer beat and everything, but I don't know, like the DIY artists, and I feel it's almost like spam in a way, but you'll find a way to come out eventually. And always like be networking on all your like social media is key, because back in the day we didn't have social media.
Exactly, it's a totally different ballgame. Like the way you have to just promote your own music, whereas before, I mean, you'd still do it, but it was putting up posters. Now you're on there all day, just texting people on Instagram and Facebook. It's crazy.
And I remember when I first started, there were artists, not artists, but people in Miami that were trying to like work with and everything, and they were like, I forgot what they said. They were telling me things like, well, in this generation, it's way harder to blow up in comparison to back then. And it's like, not really, because back then it was a bunch of people on the street in like Brooklyn and stuff trying to hand you their mixtape and shit.
Which isn't going to get heard over here unless someone buys it and brings it back here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or radio play and everything. And even then, back then, it was way harder to get. So like I said, just work on yourself, invest in yourself, and at the same time, obviously set goals. But there's one last point I had that was actually like really good. Just give me 1 second.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, the chair kind of
For that bitch, is she fucking with the op? That's a fucking shit. You think she call the cop, tryna hit me up, and I just hit the 9, tryna sabotage my shit. So she do it all the time, 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 so she do it all the time. Fuck that bitch. I said I just hit the 9. I said fuck that bitch. So she do it all the time. When that bitch hit my line, I been stuck in different places. Said I do it all the time. Said I do it all the time. She like that shit hit me up. Can we just take her on? I'm like, bitch, that ain't my name. If you catch me in your block, then you won't catch me slipping. If you catch me in your block, on the block, I be gripping so steady. Fuck a witness if you tryna call the cops. We gon' put it in some rugs. We gon' put it near the rock. Till it hit the bottom. When she fucking make it drop, slip it bubbly. When I fucking make it pop. To the club, bring the bottles to my crew. Fuck a thought, cause she tryna fuck a guap. She tryna fuck a guap. Tryna fuck, put some limelight. Those bitches wanna fuck the limelight. I drop an ounce of my Sprite just to feel right. I drop an ounce of my Sprite just to feel right. Tryna fuck for some limelight. Those bitches wanna fuck for limelight. I drop an ounce of my Sprite just to feel right. I drop an ounce of my Sprite and I feel right. Thatcher dripping ice, your bitch wanna entice. That's the shit I don't like that's the shit I don't like. Hit up bait just to slap. Tryna catch me cheapin' blinds. I ain't never catch me trippin', little ain't never slippin', sleepin' on a bank. Cause the money in the mattress. This eggs don't chef, only cook from the cabinets. Baby ass brothers talking shit about not action. Told them BBs they ain't never get to clapping. Grew up in a place where you think you never be shit. Grew up in a place everybody had a stainless. People I knew lived pussies on the pavement. White chalk, do not cost cops for the whole block. If you had a chopper, then you thought you was a trap star place. That we never fucking go for a cycle. That we could motherfucking not break. Like you live, where you end up as a nutcase. End up on your last breath, mind filled with regret. Tryna forget the mess, you tryna forget the mess. And on your last breath, mind filled with regret. You tryna forget the mess, you tryna forget the mess. Tryna forget the mess. Thanks, Dylan. You're the best.
You know, as someone who, I went to a lot of rap shows in the early 2000s, and a lot of people I know were involved in the rap scene as, you know, whether just fans or artists or whatever. Do you have any, and of course in the 90s there's a lot of really great local hip-hop as well, do you have any kind of background listening to any of that older stuff? Like, are you very familiar with Winnipeg's rap history, or are you just coming into this from the punk end and from listening to rap outside of?
Well, Winnipeg's rap history I'm not too much into, because I'm from Toronto.
Okay, well there you go.
So, so I'm more or less into old school, like I said, New York artists like Big L, Jay-Z, Biggie Smalls. I used to make lots of instrumentals and stuff, so I also aspire from like Puffy and stuff, but I also like the LA rendition of lots of like, but like I said, I'm more or less really inspired from the Brooklyn rap scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you come to Winnipeg?
Well, I'm back and forth from Winnipeg.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, the music scene and everything from, like, you know what I mean? I'm from kind of both, because I have parents that live.
Oh, okay. So Well, I guess maybe a better way of phrasing that question then is, were there local rap artists in whatever city that you kind of listened to when you were younger and thought, hey, I can do this? Like, was there someone, I mean, obviously with punk bands, that's kind of how everyone does it.
My mom grew up with Brooklyn from Winnipeg as well.
Okay.
Originally, like, I seen that was very possible growing up, and also, I don't know, my life almost in a way, like, until I was older, it felt like, I'm not gonna, like, I feel like lots of people say that, and they sound crazy, but, like, just the people around me, and, like, the influence, like, even my dad's buddy, he runs Sum 41 and stuff, so, like, growing up, I was like, man, it can't be, like, it's really hard to get into the industry. But, like,
and those guys came from just all of a sudden nowhere too, or they were all DIY, and then suddenly they broke it, right?
But that's really how it works, though, nowadays. It's like, you get one music video up on World Star, you get one music video up on Elevator, you can be a superstar overnight. Yeah. Like, even if you know someone from a local Winnipeg rap scene, if you've ever heard of Smart Death before, probably, like, our most popular rapper.
He was actually on this show, like, years ago. I wasn't hosting that one, but he's been on it before, for sure.
Yeah. So, even, like, what was I about to say? He even blew up overnight. Yeah,
look at the amount of views he has on his videos and stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. And actually, that's a good example, because that's a guy that I watch his stuff and I see the massive amount of views he has on it and everything, and I just don't get it. Like, that guy's almost emblematic of the type of hip hop that I don't understand.
And that's the weird thing. Like, if you would have took that hip hop 10 years ago,
no one would like it, right?
Yeah. It's almost like Gerard Way and, like, Jay-Z met up.
Right. Yeah, it's like emo rap or something. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
That's what people like to call it.
Yeah.
I, like, don't exactly, because, like, there's emo rock and then there's punk rock.
Right, and they're connected. They have a common ancestor, right? But yeah, they spread off in different directions.
The more emotional one. I like the more, like, I still like to be emotional in my music, but I'm not to that point, right?
Right.
Like, they like to use it and, like, an artistic way, like lots of talk about like blood rituals and stuff. You know what I mean?
Which is almost like goth stuff. Yeah. That's weird. But yeah, no, that guy. So I see. I mean, I see his thing blowing up, and it's just like I'm sure it's good. I don't understand who's into this. Like, what is the audience for that?
People who started like a really an overlay for that was there was Lil Keith, Lil Tracy. And,
it's a little somebody, eh?
Yeah, usually. Yeah. But he didn't start from the little thing. He just started from his growing up name was Pete.
Okay.
So people, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is that the guy who died?
Yeah, the guy who overdosed. So.
I didn't hear, but I never heard of him until he died. There was all the news.
If you've ever heard of, I believe though that was an industry oriented though. Like industry overlay. If you notice every couple of years they'll put things really published and everything. So I believe when he died, that really became the main genre that everyone's focused on.
Okay, because it was such a makes sense. Yeah, so
and people are calling him almost the Kurt Cobain of our generation.
Right, I remember reading that too, and I was like, again, I didn't get it. I was like, because Nirvana, I remember Kurt Cobain died. I remember, I was listening to them already at that point, and. But yeah, this guy, I was like, I never heard of him, so I read that and I listened to him, and I'm like, I still don't get it. Like, what is? Yeah. But I get it in the sense of like, this is something very different from what the existing genre was, and it's kind of giving a new direction for people to go in, right? Like that's
the thing that people publish though too. With published and comparative to his old music, new music. Like once he got a label, they told him to almost make like a redux of Good Charlotte in a way. Okay, so they directed it in a way. Yeah. Okay. So what was his old stuff like then? What was his old stuff? Really sounded inspired. In a way, it sounded like a really emo Kanye West.
Okay. Kanye West seems fairly emo to me already, but
yeah.
Like more so, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fuck would I be without you? Probably off in some beef without you. The shit ain't worth it. I ain't been searching for some dumb shit type bitch. It ain't up for discussion. You the person who's got Tim running. You the worst thing. You ain't working. You focused on music and habit abusing. You make songs about yourself, thinking that you don't need help. You a failure. Post-war. Don't act like you love yourself. The confidence is fake. Yeah, they're too drunk or too baked. They hate you. They loathe you. You're old, they've all outgrown you.
Do shit to ease my mind. Live with demons who just sit time. Hold up, get to my stomach. If you hold it, then bust it. Pop the trunk. The vitals, they run it. If she come to my town, she gon' leave you no bluffing. Run out my bands if it's cash, no discussion. Live like Ross, start party with concussions. Hey. In the club with your girl, if she leave, she ain't leaving with me. I ain't fucking with no thought, but I know she want me. Hey, do it no effort. If she want me, she gon' fuck with it. Then leave your whole ever. She gon' leave it forever. Swimming in cash, no screws, nigga. If it ain't about the money, then I give no fucks. Hey, what that bitch do for a motherfucking Klondike? If she free, right, then I might let her stay the night. Never say no, says she never say no. Body bitches, then I leave them for that fucking payroll. Hey, catch a motherfucker slipping like he been on ice. One day in my shoes, try to live the life, living with endorphins. Never had no happiness. Just a motherfucking walking corpse, bitch. Living for $1 in the new world order. Never no room for a motherfucking scholar. Living with no order.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I think that even the public image of hip hop now is completely different. I mean, if you go back to the '90s and you ask someone to draw a picture of a stereotypical rapper, the look now and then is like just miles apart. Like, I mean, now it would be some guy with a bunch of face tattoos and shit. You know? Whereas then it's totally different. So it's funny how much has changed. And when I think about it, it's not really that different from any other genre of music. I mean, like, just use country as another example. Like, you know, now it's all pop country and shit. Whereas before it was a lot more kind of into all the little subgenres in between, right? But yeah, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's
and
weird.
It'll settle out eventually. Like,
yeah, it will. Yeah.
Maybe even it'll get its own genre name. Maybe it won't even be like emo rap.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well, I guess what ties that stuff to the broader notion of hip hop? I mean, is it just the way the vocals are delivered, or?
Yeah, the vocals, the way the music's processed.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, the same devices. Rhyme schemes are slightly different.
They're different, yeah.
Yeah, with emotional rap, you can take. You don't have to always have a flow. It doesn't have to have a rhyme scheme.
Yeah,
it has to have a flow scheme. Though.
I've noticed that. Yeah, it almost sounds like sometimes I hear some of this stuff, and again, this is me being completely ignorant about who the artists are and stuff, but it almost sounds like they're not on beat on purpose. Like it's just like they're kind of under the beat, and it sounds wrong as someone who grew up listening to stuff where it was very on beat, very much that old style of patterns. Yeah, and this is like what happened. Like you're supposed to rap here, not here, but yeah, it's yeah.
After a while you listen to it though, it's almost like your ears will separate into two, so that the beat it doesn't become a background, but the voice becomes something to the beat.
Okay.
Because it's like going the opposite wave.
Right, it's not on top of the beat, it's like as part of the beat. That's kind of cool. So what, I mean, as someone from here, like, where is this stuff happening? The type of music that the audience that you would appeal to, where are they everywhere? Is it big enough now that you could be in Winnipeg or Toronto or, I don't know, Boston or something, or like England, and there's a crowd for this type of stuff all over the place, or is it fairly regional still?
There's, like, in the UK, there's an artist called, Lil Peep kind of went over to the UK, and that's where he first got really popular. So he met an artist, I believe, I could be wrong, so if someone can correct me on this, but he met an artist, I believe, called Bexy out there, and him and Bexy kind of created the scene. And same thing with, like I was saying, North America, Toronto. We all have, like, they all have their artists. Like, have you ever heard of Nav before from Toronto?
I don't think so.
Or even Drake. Drake's kind of like, you know what I mean? He doesn't fall under
no.
old school hip hop.
No, he doesn't. I remember when he first came out, too, there was so much hype about him, so I listened to him because it was like, everyone's talking about how great this guy is, and I didn't like it. I was like, he's crying on the microphone. I don't want to hear this. Like, I want to hear someone going hard. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
First two, I didn't like Drake, but it integrates, you know what I mean? And
now it's such a huge part of the culture. He's just so embedded, right?
Yeah, not to say it's an acquired taste, but after a while, I feel like that music will kind of grow on people.
Probably would, yeah.
Even like emotional music first came out, like Gerard Way with
My Chemical Romance?
Yeah, with My Chemical Romance and everything. I remember how judgmental people were.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That. But nowadays it's like My Chemical Romance is almost like an idol to music. Like, and at their
for a certain generation, for sure, it's just in the background of what they listen to, right? Yeah.
Yeah, at their time they weren't taken as a musical idol, but they've created, like I said, they've created a bunch of artists such as Lil Peep and Lil Tracy who have taken that and put it into hip hop.
Yeah.
Which is weird that they've done.
It seems like a weird combination. It seems like it shouldn't work, right?
Yeah.
Because they're so disparate genres. Yeah.
Even punk flows, like that's almost what they're taking it from. They're taking these punk flows, taking hip hop's rhyme schemes and mixing them together.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
It works though, right? Obviously, there's like millions of people who are listening to this stuff, so clearly there's an audience for it and it's working. But yeah, I think it's just I'm sure like I come across sounding when I listen back to this as like some old out of touch guy, but which I'm okay with being. But you know what I mean? But it's I don't know. It's interesting because like it seems like one of those genres where you can either go way off, like what you're doing, like some music people are doing, where it's almost not that recognizable to people my age or whatever, or older, or you can stick in the same lane and it's almost like people are doing throwback stuff and succeeding there, and then people are going way off in various directions and succeeding there as well. And I think it's just a factor of hip-hop, whatever you want to consider hip-hop, as just being this massive global thing now, rather than just a niche genre that grew, right? And now it's so big that the umbrella can fit what you're doing and can fit what someone who just wants to sound like 1994 is doing, and you can fit someone who's got the 80s kind of style, and it's all sort of encompassing.
And there are still artists though that still carry that old school.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know, like if people still want that taste, there's like Jay-Z's 444 kind of fell under an old school rendition, or like Immortal Technique if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah, I have a few of those albums. Yeah. See that's more the style of stuff that I kind of came up listening to as far as hip hop goes, right? Yeah,
that's the type of music I used to make, like really lyrical.
Yeah, dense lyrics, really aggressive, like And so I listened to like a mixture of that kind of stuff, and then the local stuff here, which was like the peanuts and corn stuff and things like that, which was very much people who are from the prairies, who are rapping as if they're from the prairies and talking about things that are definitely local kind of content. And it was very much like, it probably sounds weird to someone who's listening to the New York stuff or whatever, because it's like, what's with the accents and what's, but I kind of had this, like the genuineness of it, and a lot of my favorite rap still is stuff from the like late 90s, early 2000s from Manitoba and Saskatchewan, because they sound like they're from Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and it's kind of like, I find that a lot of rap, wherever it's from, there's a tendency for people to rap like they're from somewhere else. Like, I mean, tons of people even here will try to sound like from New York,
yeah,
even if they're not. And then, like, I kind of appreciate in any genre people who are at least honest and genuine about who they are and bringing their own version to whatever it is. And I think that a lot of stuff we're talking about maybe is that, and maybe that's why it's been so successful, because people recognize, like, some guy who listens to emo is now rapping, and they kind of recognize, oh cool, this is not him trying to be a gangster or anything, it's him being a guy who listens to emo, and
And that's the thing too, because people are expecting, like, well, there's two sides to it. I almost feel like in a way, that type of music, like, it's always going to be there, but to continuously make it in a way, it's almost depressing to a lot of groups of people.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Hearing about those events or seeing those events can almost be like, bring back bad vibes, and then at the same time, lots of people, I feel like they were expected to almost have to rap about, like, drugs or, like, narcotics.
Right, and people who never actually went through that, which is a lot of people, like, a lot of people rapping, they didn't live any kind of the gangster life or anything, right? And it comes across as insincere when they're rapping like that. So I'd rather hear, even if it's not the style I like, I'd rather hear someone talking about, if someone's into, like, I don't know, horror movies or something, I'd rather hear you rapping about that than pretend to be a drug dealer or whatever, right? So yeah,
no doubt.
It's, or I don't know, fucking Pokemon or whatever. I don't get, like, whatever these kids are rapping about now, I don't know. But yeah, like, I like, even if it's not for me, I respect the idea of, like, this is what I'm about, so I'm gonna rap like this, rather than here's an image of a rapper that I have in my head and I'm gonna beat that, right? So,
yeah, no doubt, totally.
I don't know where I was going with that. It's just like an extended rant with I get it.
No, I feel that makes sense.
So what do you, I mean, like, being someone who posts stuff on SoundCloud and is kind of, as we mentioned earlier, you're very involved in the digital kind of spreading and marketing of your stuff and getting the word out and connecting that way. What does the future look like as far as releasing music? Like, do you have any plans to release an actual album, or are you just going to keep going with singles and things like that? Or?
Yeah, I'm currently working on that. Me and my buddy Bill Snowback, if you may have heard of him, he works with also a local artist, Matt Red.
Okay, he's been on my show. Matt Red's been on the show too.
He's done first albums and stuff.
Cool.
Like his song. Well, if you might have worked with him a while ago, that song, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. So.
I may have. I don't know. I remember. Yeah.
But me and him are planning on making another tape called. Just give me one second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just give me one second. I'm trying to think of, like, completely. Okay, well, the tape is, like, not named yet. I didn't want to give out, like, I kind of wanted to give out a hint, but I don't want to give out any official names yet. And then, like I said, currently I'm working on an album and I'm working on a tape. And the tape idea is, again, that, like, Brooklyn, South Florida rap, and then my album will be a rendition of the middle, because my current album out right now is all punk rap.
Okay.
There are a couple songs on there that are, like, New York rap style. They're not even New York per se. Like, I'd like to almost think that I've taken from these artists, I've taken from, like, if I was the call it anything, it'd almost be like sorry about that.
That's alright.
Kind of get distracted. But my current album out right now is a punk album.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I'm gonna make, like, that Brooklyn style, and then in the middle it's gonna be like a meat. Like, the first 8 songs are gonna be punk, and then the last 8 songs are gonna be hip hop style.
How does the concept of an album fit into the kind of the world that you're in? Where, I mean, because I see so many people just single after single after single, or mixtapes or whatever, but I mean, albums almost seem like, for that genre, to be kind of an afterthought. You know what I mean? Like a start to finish album with, like, the songs are in a certain order for a certain reason. Like, is there a place for that still?
Yeah.
What you do, you think?
Well, that's how my album was created, because it's called Dream Chasers.
Right.
So if you're to listen from the album start to finish, it's actually a rendition of because like I used to be an addict and stuff, like heavily, like I didn't do anything like crazy, like I just mean I've done some like, you know what I mean, like not like any I won't go into disclose any information, kind of just like alcohol and everything, not like meth or heroin or anything, but a bad spot in my life. So if you listen to it from start to finish, it sounds like a party album that turns into like a sad rendition. But if you were to listen to it in opposite, it's kind of like you know what I mean, like rising from the ashes. Like I came a long way from that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's also the thing you're touching on, like artists who talk lots about like drug usage and like, you know what I mean, like partying and shit, but then they've never ever like, you know what I mean, been down that road or had to do that, or like the difference between, I don't know, I feel like lots of artists even nowadays, they're glorifying selling drugs or glorifying, you know what I mean, like doing stuff. But where I come from in my position, it's like people that have literally had to do that, or you know what I mean, they would like literally die.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, I don't appreciate artists that are doing that. But at the same time, it's like it's an awareness message, right? Because it's like if artists still aren't onto it, they're realizing now that they're inspiring kids to almost do like the wrong things and stuff. Because like me, I never wanted to be under any of that like rendition and stuff. Because like I was just growing up. Like if it was up to me, I'd want to just like live a regular life. But it's like, to me, it seems like kids that are living in the suburbs and are handed everything their whole life, they want to live like a thug and they want to live like a gangster. But like, to me, a thug is someone who has been tested and they've done something about it. You know?
And that's why it seems insincere when one of the suburban kids performs like that, because like you're not, this isn't yourself, right? Perform rap about what your actual life experience has been, because it's probably way more interesting than this persona you've established, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'd much rather hear someone, even if their life is super boring, rap about that. You know, like, because at least it's coming from a place of honesty.
That's the thing too. These artists have to almost make a breakthrough and get people's attention, like I was saying, Extension earlier. So he made, he was making music about like just the most random shit. Like if you've probably heard a song "Look at Me" before, like that. Look at me, fuck at me. Like,
I may have heard it.
Yeah. But okay, what was I gonna say? So he was making shit like that, just loud and ignorant shit. But eventually he came out saying like that was just to get on front page. And the second he got front page, that's
so you do the real stuff,
Yeah, turning heads and talking about like. I guess he experienced like a death of a best friend growing up, committing suicide. So he was touching on more or less like shit like that, and it wasn't like, the thing that pisses me off too is these corny emo bands and shit. They come out and they're like, blah, blah, like just talking about like not real shit about like the whole experience of depression and shit. And it sounds corny to me. Like, I don't know.
Well, they figure that's the hook to sell records, right? Like it's
But like this Extension guy, he does touch on like actual, I feel like, feelings, and it's like it's raw emotion. I feel like that's why people like him. And like you were saying, it's like if everyone in music was touching on the things they actually felt and like their experiences, it would be
more interesting.
Yeah, it would be a lot heavier. It'd be like right now it's a bit distorted. There are of course those artists, but those artists aren't getting the glow that they need. Per se, and then it's almost making these other like artists that are getting this glow like, well, why don't I just make party music, or why don't
because that's how you get the road to fame, right? Apparently it's what they see. You mentioned before we started recording this that you were going to be going on tour soon. So do you want to plug that and let people know where you can be?
I was going to say, so I plan on doing a couple shows in Toronto from the 20th to the 30th. So again, I have to talk to promoters, so I 100% don't know about that at this date. But further, I have a festival at the end of, if you've ever heard of the North Touch Festival.
Northern Touch, yeah.
So
that's here.
Doing that. I'm supposed to, and then just talking about future shows, I also am waiting. Well, I got a reply from South by Southwest, so I'm pretty sure I got South by Southwest next May too. And South by Southwest, if you've ever heard of them,
it's huge.
Yeah, they like to. Their whole concept now is to push newer artists and starting artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big show. That'd be,
So
for
that
sure.
should be pretty exciting.
Cool. So if someone, I mean, like I said at the beginning, I didn't know who you were until you messaged me. So and because you haven't been doing this for all that long in your current incarnation, I guess, like if people are hearing you for the first time on the show, what's the best way for them to find out more information? Like find out when you're playing shows or hear some of your stuff. What should they do?
I post all my stuff on Instagram.
Okay.
But like I said, I need to put together more of like, I'm putting together almost like vlogs soon with my photographer. Me and him are going to almost give like updates and just talk about general things and stuff.
Okay. But Instagram is the place for now? Like that's the best?
Like that's what Post Malone used to do that for a long time. So I don't know, like I said, I just studied marketing and everything for a long time because nowadays, if you also, that's the point I was going to make earlier.
Sure.
If you want to make it in this industry, you can't just be an artist nowadays.
No, you got to be a marketer and promoter, and you got a manager, all that stuff for sure. Cool. Well, people should check out your stuff, and I mean, Instagram. What's the Instagram address?
Thatcher Robinson.
Okay.
No spaces, 2 R's.
Okay, yeah, that'd be confusing, right? The 2 R's, yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. And then if people want to hear more episodes of this show, go to witchpolice.com. All 290 some, maybe 300 by this point, episodes are there for download and streaming. You can go back to 2012 and check out the archives. You can also tune in on Sunday nights at midnight on UMFM 101.5, and they play older episodes of the show. So this one might not air until 4 or 5 months from now, but it's still kind of a cool way to get a second hearing, I guess, of the episode. Like it'll always be there for people to download whenever they want, but if you happen to be listening to the radio whatever month, on a Sunday night, there you go. You could be hearing this conversation. So yeah, awesome. Well, thanks again for meeting me here. It's definitely interesting to because I talk to so many different people in so many different genres of music. I feel like it's interesting to talk to someone who is doing something that I don't get. You know what I mean? That I don't have a frame of reference for, because it just makes for a cool. I get to learn something out of it too, right? So yeah. So thanks again.
Yeah. Ay, ay. Riding through the city, everybody fucking with me. All my homies, they be litty. I be tripping so hard. All these hoes up on my payroll. Shawty Kane and Abel. Hoes up in my stable. It be rockin' go yard. Go yard. She be rockin' go yard.
Hit my phone, little baby all alone. Coming back from black out, that's all I know. Coming back blacked out, baby, I know. I know when she callin', I know she home alone. Hit my phone, little shorty, hit my phone, my call, get little baby. Yeah, shit, she home alone. Hit my phone, every time she hit my phone. You will not disturb, I hope. Yeah, I'm running through my walls. Hit the club, blacked out, off of Molly Rock. In the bed of the club with it in my side. Get to a chat every time I club up. We in a spaceship, the fuck you think my club up? Hey, you know I get to the bed. All I motherfucking do is motherfucking travel. Yeah, tell me why these people wanna fucking hate me, but all these motherfucking women wanna rape me. She hit my phone, little baby all alone. Coming back from blackouts, that's all I know. Coming back blacked out, baby, I know. I know when she callin', I know she home alone.
Riding through the city, everybody fucking with me.